Hello, Monetization Nation. I'm Nathan William, your host. And today we're going to talk about how to see our customers through mom eyes. So in our home, we have a little saying. Everybody knows that my wife, Crystal, is really good about finding things. In fact, we know that if we go look for something and we can't find it, it's a joke or a realized fact in our home that Crystal will be able to find it. So if we say we can't find something, my wife Crystal will often tell that person, go back and look through mom eyes, right? And what she's saying is look with a different perspective. Look at the situation how I would look at it. And often the person goes back and they're much more thorough and they find what they were looking for. The same thing applies with doing a job in our home, maybe cleaning a room or a bedroom. If somebody maybe hasn't been as thorough in cleaning that area, my wife might tell them, go back and look at it with mom eyes, right? And the person knows that means, okay, is everything really picked up? Is it really clean? Did I really sweep the floor, vacuum the floor, right? Did I take care of the details in the way that mom would see those details? And the person goes back and looks at it with that different perspective and cleans the room much more thoroughly. So the concept here that I want to talk about and apply to our businesses is looking through mom eyes, or we might talk about looking through parents' eyes. So there was a renowned heart surgeon named Dale G. Renlund, and he is now a church leader, and he gave a talk called Through God's Eyes. And in this talk, he tells a story. In his past profession as a cardiologist, he specialized in heart failure and transplants. And over his career, he saw many people die. And so he reached a spot where he started developing an emotional distance so that when things went poorly, he wasn't emotionally devastated in those situations. In 1986, there was a young man named Chad who developed heart failure and received a heart transplant. He did very well for more than a decade, but the last few years of his life were very challenging. One evening, Chad was brought to the hospital in full cardiac arrest. So Renlund and his associates worked for a long time to try to restore his circulation, but unfortunately, Chad could not be revived. Although Renlund was sad, he kept himself emotionally distanced, but his emotional distance shattered when he saw Chad's parents. In that moment, he saw Chad through his mother's eyes and his father's eyes. He said, quote, I saw the great hopes and expectations they had for him, the desire they had that he would live a little bit longer and a little bit better, unquote. Renlund wept, and the kind parents ended up comforting him. Through this moment, Renlund realized that, quote, to effectively serve others, we must see them through a parent's eyes, through Heavenly Father's eyes. We cannot completely fulfill our covenant obligation to mourn with those who mourn and comfort with those who stand in need of comfort unless we see through God's eyes, unquote. So seeing through a mother and a father's eyes, parents' eyes, helped him to see the situation from a totally different perspective. Instead of being emotionally distant, he cared a lot more about that patient. The same thing is very true in customer service. It's very easy to be emotionally detached. In fact, so many companies today, they make it so hard to even contact a real person. They want you to go through their help question and answers. They want you to do all of the things that don't require the cost of a customer service representative, and they emotionally distance from the situation. They remove the ability to emotionally connect with the customer. And I think that's wrong. I think it's dehumanizing the customer service process. There have been times in my situation where I've been dealing with customer service representatives, and I just wanted to reach out to somebody and say, okay, if your mom was in the same situation that I'm in, how would you treat her? And so many of us, if we were dealing with customer service and we were emotionally distanced and calloused, and then our mom got on the phone, we would treat our mom completely different. We would care about what she was going through. We would do everything in our power to help her and to to treat her fairly and maybe go above and beyond and treat her even more fairly than what we had to. And that's what I mean by, in our customer service, we need to treat people the way we would treat our moms. Here's a great story of it from Patagonia. And I heard this story today for the very first time. It actually happened to the mom of one of our team members. So her mom had just purchased a Patagonia jacket for her daughter, but the zipper broke within the first year. So she called Patagonia to see what she could do, and they were able to send her a completely new jacket. Not only that, but since her daughter had grown in the time since they bought the old jacket, the Patagonia agreed to send the larger size when they sent the new one. On the same phone call, the mother asked about a tear she had in her own Patagonia jacket, one she bought 5 years previously. They told her that they could send that she could send the jacket in for free, and they'd fix it and send it back to her. The key is that she was so pleased with the customer service from Patagonia that she wanted to share it. She shared it with her family members and her friends. It's now being shared on this show and was shared with me that I even found out about it. It inspired her to be more loyal to Patagonia and make her want to go buy from Patagonia again. In fact, she told her daughter, quote, "It is so worth it to spend the little extra money to be treated so well by a company," unquote. Not only do they build strong brand loyalty when they treat customers so well, but Patagonia, by surprising and wowing their customers, also creates moments that people want to share and creates brand loyalty and trust that becomes word of mouth marketing. Vince Lombardi said, "It takes months to find a customer and seconds to lose one." And Earl Nightingale said, "Our attitude towards others determines their attitude towards us." So how do we do it? How do we set up our customer service to see our customers through mom eyes? I think one of the first ways to do it is to establish goals and compensation, the bonuses, not based on reducing the number of time that we spend on the phone with customer service. That reduces our cost. When we set up the goals that way, we are almost ensuring our failure. We're ensuring that our customers will act in a way that reduces the time on the calls with the customers. Instead, we should figure out goals and incentives that motivate them to provide the best customer service possible. Goals that compensate our employees based upon delighting our customers. One way to do this is to build company lore around amazing customer service experiences. Nordstrom's is one of the companies that's famous for doing this, a company that even has received exchanges from customers and given refunds for products that weren't even bought there, or employees that kept the customer's car warm when it was cold while the customer went in and purchased the product. Employees that went above and beyond to provide amazing, unexpected, surprising customer service, and telling those stories and rewarding and incenting the employees that do that. And then I think the most important thing that management can do to help ensure our customer services teams see customers through mom eyes is for the management team to see the employee teams through mom eyes. We need to treat our teams with amazing service. We need to wow them and surprise them with how well we treat them, and set that expectation by showing them and not just expecting them to do something that they haven't seen from us. That's my message for today. If you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to follow Monetization Nation on Instagram, Twitter, our Facebook group, and on your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for joining me for this episode, and I wish you success in improving your customer service by helping your team to see your customers through mom eyes.